All right, drawing while talking. Yeah, I want to keep this one relatively short because, yeah, I think I've been going too long. Blah, blah, blah. All right, that's just technical garbage that no one cares about. Yeah, so obviously, um, yeah, I just thought I'd show you a sketchbook drawing, and it's pretty far along. So, yeah, I'll get into it. This is probably, I mean, I'm probably going to make well, yeah, I'm planning to do like a large scale, full drawing of this. But I'm also trying to think about possibly doing this as a sculpture, although, man, yeah, it's going to be tough. So I'm kind of thinking about making it, I mean, it's going to be like a real technical challenge. It's going to be really hard to figure out how to make this work as a sculpture. Not, I mean, making it's not that hard, making it with the clay and all that, that's not really a big deal. The challenge is going to be getting a decent mold of it, because this, yeah, I'll show you. It's probably pretty obvious, but all right, get down to brass tacks. So what we have here is we have Hercules wrestling Cerberus, the three-headed dog who guards hell, and 1, 2, 3 dogs' heads. Uh, Everything's quite rough at this point, obviously. Right? This is just a sketch, and I was really just kind of thinking about shape and weight here and how this might work out. And also, I just like trying something out. Like I've already had sort of a different idea about this. Like right now, if you can tell, so these are Hercules, whatever. These are his. So these are his legs. So he's lying down. So he's on the ground, wrestling with Cerberus, and I like that a lot. But I started to think, what if he's standing up, and what if we keep all this, but he's standing, legs spread, right? That might be more interesting. Although I like both ideas, frankly. I mean, the standing would be this more kind of this powerful twist. I think of the figure as powerful. Yeah, this much more, this sense of motion. Although here, yeah, I think there's a sense of the dog thrashing around. Um, right, again, this play of forces. The dog thrashing, trying to escape, trying to get out of his grasp, and Herakles holding him tight, holding on to him here, trying to subdue him, because if I recall, he has to bring him back alive. Well, at any rate, he does bring him back alive. So, and here we're just subduing Cerberus, and yeah, I just wanted to give you, I just wanted to show you an idea of how I guess I could have. I could have filmed myself earlier on with this drawing, but this is just kind of to show how I make use of the sketchbook or something like this. And yeah, it's a really big help. So as I say, I've already noticed one thing. I'm liking the idea of, well, at least maybe doing a drawing where he's standing to see how that might work out. So I think I will definitely give that a shot. Also, if this is going to be a sculpture, so I would have to make it, and then I would make the mold of it, and cut these things, cut them apart, cast it, and put it back together. I mean, you have Cerberus's legs here sticking out, so those would have to be separate pieces. You'd have to put the legs back together. Gosh, all of this in here. There's just so much. There's so much stuff. There would be so many nooks and crannies to deal with. So, more drawings of this, more thinking about how I might possibly go about doing this, and yeah, I think it would be great. I think it would be a really awesome project. But I also think I definitely think I'd have to make a very crude little maquette, at first, just just really a quick sketch in clay, pretty small, and then see, then maybe see if that's at all, if I can even make a mold of that. Although that's tough, because like when the stuff's really small, like it's really hard to cut it up. It's really hard to get the mold around something that's small. When things are bigger, there are other problems. But like if this leg, if the figure is pretty big, they can mold this, take off the mold, put it back together. I mean, just getting the molding material around something small is kind of tough, and a lot harder to cut the thing apart. Anyway, yeah, so probably going to do some pretty serious experimenting with that. Anyway, that's kind of technical, so I don't want to bore you with that too much, but I am thinking about doing this. This is a plan for a sculpture at this stage. It's also just, it's a pretty fun drawing. It's pretty fun subject matter. I love dogs. I don't think it's particularly cruel to dogs. It's a very, Cerberus, I'm sure, is a very bad dog, and I'm sure Cerberus can take the punishment. So I love dogs. One reason for doing this, and it's just, it's a pretty delightful, just in terms of the energy and in terms of the motion, and trying to think through the challenges, right? Trying to think through how to depict Herakles and Cerberus thrashing it out, scrapping it out together. And there are several. There's some really wonderful sculptures in existence already of the subject matter. So so I think it's a really fun thing to tackle. Thus far, I really am having quite the blast with it. By the way, a friend asked. I showed this to a friend, and she was like, "Okay, so what are these little lines? What's going on with these little lines? What do these mean?" Yeah, and I had to say, like, okay, so that's like shading. It's to indicate dark areas. And the reason for this, the reason for hatching, is that, well, it works. Number one, I mean, you can look at master drawings, and well, it's a lot better than this, but you can look at master drawings, and they've used hatching. I'm just using this here to block out areas of, showing shadow, showing where like the light's coming down. So this is in shadow, and there would be a shadow cast by the figures. But as I told my friend, back in the day, back at newspapers, if you want to print images, you'd have to get plates, or you'd have to do like an etching on a plate, so because you weren't doing photography, you weren't like photographing something, so you could, so you couldn't do like on a print, I don't know, you couldn't do like couldn't really just do shading like that. So the shading was achieved by doing hatch marks, by doing cross hatching. Like if you on a plate, right, where you're going to print, you can do that. You can do the cross hatching to achieve to depict shadows, and you can transition from, you can go from the more hatch marks you have, the darker, and then you can go lighter to show that the light's falling this way, and it gets darker down here. So so what I think I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this up to a larger scale, this drawing, and we'll see how it goes. But that's the basic plan that I've worked out right here. And so let me know what you think. I think it's pretty fun. This dog chomping, sinking his teeth. This head of Cerberus sinking his teeth into Hercules' arm. It's fun subject matter. I think it was a good choice. Although, boy, I am terrified of trying to sculpt this and make a mold of it and get that to work. That's going to be, that would really be something. If I could pull that off, that would be great. All right, excellent. Thanks for checking this out. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with taking this up to a full-scale drawing. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.